So, hello everybody. As you probably know, my name's Dom. By the channel, you know, shit. I created this channel in the way back of about 2013, 2014. And for the longest time, I've been about 80, 90 subscribers. Until recently, where one of my videos just blew the fuck up. And now I feel as if, because I've gone about 320 now, but I hit the 300 milestone, so I feel like you at home, yeah, you, except you, Timmy, go fuck yourself. But everyone else, except you, fuck you, Timmy, deserves a special video. Now, every now and again during streams and videos, you may hear from Connor or myself of my infamous starring character, Merchant Yes, and his mysterious bloodline, which spans over pretty much every single game I've ever played. That includes the character creator, except Fallout 76. Connor, how would you describe Fallout 76?
Oh boy, the best way I could describe it without going into blood rage is imagine lung cancer, now quadruple that into millions.
A million lung cancer. That's, yeah. Million lung cancer.
Million lung cancers.
Million billion
Times 4.
lung cancers times 500. Anyway,
Pretty much.
this video will dismiss the mystery and reveal to you the canon bloodline of Merchant Yes. It'll be structured into what I believe to be chronological order of the games themselves, or actually more accurately portray the bloodline in a less confusing manner. The lore of the games themselves, however, are not present within the great storyline of the Yes lineage. Another thing is, it's mostly going to talk a little bit about each Yes, how they died, and that's about it. I'm thinking about going in depth onto each individual Yes in other videos, maybe lasting a little longer. Again, this does kind of hit into fan fiction territory, but that's just because it is all headcanon.
Right.
This is all things that have gone on in my head of what I believe to have happened to each of the different Merchant Yeses, or each different of the Yes bloodline. It has literally nothing to do with the games apart from setting.
Right.
So yeah, we will start, of course, at the first of the bloodline of Yes, whose many trials and actions shape the world and her bloodline. Act 1. Lady PeenChese in the embers of the first flame.
In the age of ancients, the world was unformed, shrouded by fog. A land of grey crags, arched trees, and everlasting dragons. But then there was fire, and with fire came disparity, heat and cold, life and death. Of course, light and dark. Then from the dark day came, and found the souls of lords within the flame. Nito, the first of the dead, the witch of Izalith, and her daughters of chaos. Gwyn, the lord of sunlight, and his faithful knights. And furtive pygmy, so easily forgotten. With the strength of lords they challenged the dragons. Gwyn's mighty bolts peeled apart the stone scales. The witches weaved great firestorms. And Nito unleashed a miasma of death and disease. And Sif the Scaleless betrayed his own, the dragons, but no more. Thus began the age of fire, but soon the flames will fade, and only dark will remain. Even now there are only embers, and man sees not light, but only endless nights, and amongst the living are seen carriers of the accursed dark side. Yes, indeed. Dark sign brands the undead, and in this land the undead are corralled and led to the north, where they are locked away to await the end of the world. This is the fate of Lady PeenChese, the first of the legendary bloodline of Yes. Lady PeenChese, the first of the lineage of Yes, awakens from her deep slumber within the undead asylum. She makes a single vow to escape this nightmare. She meets with Oscar, a dying undead, who gifts her with the flask to replenish what little strength she still had in her body. After defeating the demon that guarded the asylum and escaping the horrid place, she found that victory is not so easily obtained. As the Great Crow brings her to Firelink, where her real journey begins. Lady PeenChese is tasked with ringing the bells of awakening, so that she may finally be free of her undead curse, regain the humanity and life she once lusted to end. A thief by nature, she pillaged a sword off one of the mighty Black Knights. Not knowing the true power such a weapon would behold, she did not yet have the power to use such a weapon, however, which would be a problem that quickly resolved itself. The group of knights that hailed under the service of the grave Lord Nito gifted Lady PeenChese with their strength, allowing her to finally lift the blackened steel behemoth that lay beside her. She descended the tower, putting the hollowed knight Havel out of his misery, before proceeding towards and defeating the Hydra that lurked in Darkroot Lake. Saving a princess of a foreign kingdom, Lady PeenChese traveled to the church of the Undead Burg, ringing the first of the two bells, having a cold shiver creep up her reddened spine. Next location, the depths of Blighttown. Lady PeenChese, the Knight Solaire, and with his help breezes through the hellscape that is Blighttown. There at the bottom was the Lake of Ash, housing the corpse of a friend of Lady PeenChese before her passing. With no time to mourn the passing of her onion-shaped comrade, she pushed forward into the lair of the Witch of Iceland. Her great weapon slicing through the flesh of the Mother of Chaos. She defeated the Spider of Blighttown and rang the second bell of awakening. Finds her journey is still not at an end. Teaming up with the Darkstalker Cave, she works to rid the world of the lords that once saved it. Lady PeenChese defeated the Lord of the Flame. Her many friends she made on her journey trivialized the task she went to step through the door. Her final step, defeating Gwyn, the Lord of Sunlight himself, but first decided that Gwyn would be weakened from the loss of his greater knight, Aquarius. Lady PeenChese fought the dark beast Manus, rescued the soul of the great wolf Sif. Much to Lady PeenChese's disappointment, her furry companion turned on Lady PeenChese upon learning of her goal to kill Sif's master. Lady PeenChese laid the wolf to rest, taking time to mourn the loss of the great beast, before continuing on her mission. She stepped into the arena. The sound of metal hitting metal echoed throughout Londor, the battle lasting for hours on end, until the pained cry of a great warrior silenced the blaze. Lady PeenChese emerged victorious. She had slaughtered her way through the lands, killed the half-breed in the painted world, the lords of the First Flame and knights of Gwyn himself. Now she only had one more target, one more foe to slay, to finally be rid of this nightmarish world. Upon entering Gwyn's realm, she found him sitting, almost in a prayer.
I expected you, undead. I never doubted for a moment you would be felled by any mere hollow.
Lady PeenChese begged him to rid her of the curse, wishing for the bloodshed to stop.
There is no end to the curse. You hold the dark soul, do you not? You should by now know that your quest is fruitless and shall have no end.
She refused to accept his answer, and in a bloodied rage slaughtered the Lord of the Sun, before he could even reach for his blade. Lady PeenChese laid down her mighty blade and stepped forward, unknowingly stepping on Gwyn's burning embers, the flames spreading and enveloping her. She fell to her knees, finally accepting how her entire journey meant nothing, and she was doomed to die a deathless death. She shed a tear, wondering what this world would be like in the following years. Her embers live on, however, implanting themselves into the blood, setting up the path of a family of adventurers, the next member of the Yes lineage, only emerged a millennia later.
Act 2. Merchant Yes and the 100 Ancestors. We truly start our journey in the lands of old, where dragons once roamed and everything was pretty and clean.
Dom, cut the shit. Dom, cut the shit and get to the point. I don't have all day, you know.
Yeah, I zone out when you talk too long, and plus I have to go to town in an hour to buy suits.
Alright. I'll skip to the goddamn start. I'll skip the goddamn starter. So, what did you specifically want to hear about?
Just tell us about each individual yes.
Hey, don't forget about the dragon sitting.
Well, Yes the first of the characters actually named Yes, was a nobleman who one day just decided, you know what, I'm gonna just gonna stab a dragon. And then he got sat on by the dragon and died. The end. Yes the second was the son of Yes the first. He wanted to avenge his father, but he died before he left the house. You see, tripped and stabbed himself on his own sword. And thus ends the particular branch of the tree. Well, it would be if it wasn't for the dragon baby.
Dragon what?
The dragon baby, you deaf git.
How does that even fucking work?
Well, if you actually would let me finish, I would tell you. When Yes the first was sat on by a dragon, don't ask me how, because, you know, the anus and the other one are just not connected. He somehow managed to impregnate the dragon. And, well, it spawned a scaled child with a dragon. With dragon blood. He lived a hateful life. And died. Because he caught an STD from a chimpanzee.
Whoa. Wait a damn minute. Are you telling me that Yes is responsible for the discovery of AIDS?
Maybe. Anyway, he had several children, being Yes's 4 through 23. All of them died ridiculous deaths, tripping on a sword, snapping their own neck in a bet, cult sacrifice, etc, etc. But yes, the 23rd was a survivor, and he lived a quiet farm life with his loving wife. He could not bear children, but he adopted a Khajiit child. Thus began the lineage of our furry hero. His grandfather, Yes the 120th, is the only Yes recorded after Yes the 123rd, save for the few siblings that were not named Yes, such as a dark elf named Sigma Balls, who was to say at the least, an awful person. A murderer, a sex offender to boot. He died with a knife in his chest from his wife, who would go on to bear the child of a Nord called Bob. Their child would go on to live till the ripe old age of 43. After jumping in front of an arrow to try and save his friend, who, despite the valiant effort of Bob's son, still took an arrow to his knee, and now follows people around telling them about the arrow, and now I want to stab him in the chest, god damn it!
I used to be an adventurer like you, and I took an arrow in the knee.
Yeah! I'll have you know I have the reflexes of a cat, and the speed of a mongoose. Throw it! I dare ya! Oda! Don't just stand there! Throw me a spear!
Anyway, back to our lineage. Yes, the 120th made a great discovery. The dragon mother of the Yeses was still alive, and was overjoyed to see her lineage live on. She became very active in the lives of 120, with his grandchild, 123, and with his grandchild, 123. She consoled him when he lost his daughter, yes, the 121st, during childbirth. Yes, the 122nd was Merchant Yes's older brother, who went on to found a dragon sanctuary for his great-great-great dragon grandma, who had dragon dementia. What's the difference between regular dementia and dragon dementia? They occasionally forget how to breathe and blow fire and end up going, oh, well, their lungs are on fire. Yes, the 120th taught Merchant Yes how to trade wares for coin. Merchant Yes unfortunately lost his eyesight at the prime of his life, being 19, and trained to use magic to assist his vision, and uses his hearing to map out his surroundings. Yes left his ancestral home for Skyrim when he was 22, where he was caught crossing the border, and well, the rest is history. Yes had no children of his own, as he was sterile, but he adopted a Nord child, whose family was killed by a random-ass demon.
Wasn't there a lot more yeses?
Shut the fuck up! You're the one that told me to hurry up, Connor. Act 3. Lord Cuntwallop and the Hunter's a Nightmare.
Hey babe, can I do the next bit?
Lauren, what do you know about Yes?
I know more than you about the Bloodborne, yes?
How?
You talk about it non-stop for like a month. You even tried to get me to cosplay as you, Maria.
Oh yeah. Alright, I guess I'll let you do this just this once, just this segment.
Thank you. Lord Comfort travelled to Yarman to cure his ailments. Turns out some idiot decided to mate with a monkey in medieval times and discovered AIDS. Turns out this place had cure-all and just put some sermon's blood in ya and you're cured. Well, in all of his intelligence, which is none because he put no points in that stat, he thought what could go wrong and signed the contract, which plopped him straight in the middle of a hunter's nightmare. He wasn't a nice man, Lord Cuntwallop. I mean, from what I heard about him from Dom, he laughed when a child got eaten by a pig, thought the horrific sights were hilarious. He made friends with Dura and then promptly kicked him off a cliff. Let some random bloke kill all of his friends. Made a man insane, killed an old lady, killed a queen, killed a guy and his brother, killed a peaceful spider and some insane teacher bloke. Put Ludwig out of his misery, spent 5 years killing Lawrence, stabbed the shell of Lady Maria and killed Cthulhu, orphan. Only for him to fight a man in a wheelchair and win. The entire time he swore and said go fuck yourself. Did I miss anything out, babe?
No. Well, apart from Nicolas Cage.
Oh, I know about him too.
Go on, do tell.
Well, a man who looks exactly like current day Nicolas Cage did the exact same thing Lord Cuntwallop did, except only using a gun and maniacally screaming the entire time.
Yeah, that's about it.
Did I do good?
Well, you did better than anything I had planned. Act 4. Santa started a shootout in Valentine.
CBB's Bedtime Story.
Are you sitting comfortably? You are? That's great. Let me pick up this fake book and recite to you from memory the tale of Fat Man Do, the great Santa bandit of the Old West. Fat Man Do wasn't very well known. In fact, he was often overshadowed by the gentleman bounty hunter Dylan and the leader of the Gator Gang Riso, both renowned outlaws in their own right. Fat Man Do blended into the background, often being the mastermind behind the trio's heists and the bookkeeper for all their funds. They had millions between them, enough cash that is still hidden away to this day, an amount that could make Elon Musk look like a hobo. In his spare time, Fat Man Do sold moonshine, which brought in a pretty penny. This story, however, doesn't last very long.
Mister, what happened to Fat Man Do for the story to be so short?
First thing, who the hell are you? And how did you get in my house? Second thing, gladly I will tell you this, small child. The trio hit a road bump when they had a battle with a rival gang, leading Fat Man Do to hide as much cash as he could. Once the battle had ended, Riso and Dylan asked Fat Man Do where he hid the cash, and like the fool he is, he had completely forgot. This wasn't a worry, however, as there was a large bank in the nearby city of Valentine that could make back the lost cash and then some. Unfortunately for them, several other gangs had the same fate. Fat Man Do was shot in the head, a misfire from Dylan. Riso also retaliated and shot her friend, being the last of the trio and the sole survivor of Valentine's shootout. She hung up her hat for good and lived a simple life, raising Fat Man Do's daughter. Thin woman don't. Some say if you head to the ruins of Valentine, you can still hear the gunfire to this very day. Now come on, kid, let's find your mommy so I can call the police for breaking and entering.
Act 5. Time to cash a check.
Okay, let's go over the plan one more time. Jacket, you'll enter through the right and take out this guard, while Mac and Wick enter the north and south respectively to seal the main exits. I'll be heading in the left to take out the cameras and silence the alarm. Quick and quiet. Any questions?
Are we taking hostages?
Of course we are. How else are we going to negotiate our release if we got caught?
Can I use the bathroom?
Can I kill Wick?
I'll kill both of you if you don't shut the fuck up. Can't afford to make any mistakes. My brother is counting on this cash.
What's the deal with your brother anyway, Joy? The man's always wearing this weird-ass mask. Fucking thing doesn't even have any eye holes.
All you need to know about him is he's the person paying you for the job, and I am certain he won't mind if he has less employees, if you catch my drift.
Yes, ma'am.
Alright, take your positions, it's go time.
Breaking news. On 124th Street, as a bank was held up by 4 individuals wearing clown masks, 2 of the suspects named to be 24-year-old Matthew Jacket Dawson and 33-year-old Reese Wick McReynolds died on the scene after a gunfight started around 8 o'clock this evening. 20-year-old Austin McIntyre is apprehended by the police and is now in custody awaiting questioning on the 4th subject, who is yet to be identified but is suspected to be 22-year-old Joy Grement, sister to crime lord Angus Grement. Both Angus and Joy have denied their involvement in the crimes, but were told not to leave the city until they are removed from suspicion. More in the story as it develops. We now go live to our weather report in England.
Act 6. Sibling rivalry. Joy, I thought you said it was going to be quick and quiet.
My dear brother, how is it my fault that the 2 numbskulls you employed fucked on the job? The only good man you hired was Mac, and now he's in custody.
Did you really expect me to send Jake and Mark to do a job that an idiot could do?
Clearly not, as the first thing they did when they went to the bank was fucking shoot each other, Angus.
Did you at least get the money?
Of course I fucking did. I don't know why you would need it though. I swear you got a couple mil from that casino you robbed.
My dear sister, I'll tell you why we need that money. Because some fucker is draining every single damn one of our bank accounts.
What do you mean?
Well, a couple months ago I was approached by some European crime syndicate. They wanted to take over. I told them to fuck off. They took everything from me, Joy. They took everything from us. Hell, they even killed my kid's school teacher.
Is Timmy okay?
Well, luckily he is. But I don't want to risk it. This is why I needed the money. You're going to take Timmy to our safe house in Australia. Your flight has already been booked. You leave in a week.
You don't expect me to let you take on whoever these guys are on your own, do you, Angus?
I gave you an order, Joy, and I expect you to follow it. I may be blind, but I know how to take down pricks like them. I'm calling in some people from a place called Steelport. Catching a flight there same time as you're leaving.
Just promise me you won't die out there, Angus.
I'll try. Good luck, Joy.
You too, Angus. You too.
Suspect, Joy Agreement, disappeared from our operative's line of sight at around 1600 hours. Timothy Raymond Agreement has also been filed missing by his mother, stating that Joy took him. The missing boy's father, Angus Agreement, is adamant that he has no idea when or where his sister has gone. Seems to be visually upset and intent on visiting his elderly grandmother, 93 years old, Agnes Agreement in Steelport.
Hell of a case, eh, McCann?
You can say that again, Detective Maygreaves.
I never thought Angus would be betrayed by his own sister.
So it's always the person you least expect, Detective.
What do you know about Angus?
Well, from his file, he inherited his status from his father, a so-called family tradition that started in the 1800s, with a woman strangely named Thin Woman Don't.
What an odd name.
An odd family. But Angus is the strangest. We know it's him committing the various crimes, and studying his bank accounts before trial, nothing ever leaves. He doesn't bribe people, and yet all the evidence points away from him.
Kinda admirable, don't you think, Detective McCann?
From a strictly intellectual standpoint, yeah, the man's a genius. Angus lost his eyesight during the firefight with a rival gang operated by Jacob Wellings and Marcus Wilhelm. Both people are now employed as Angus's right-hand men. Well, them and Austin McIntyre.
He's in custody for the robbery on the 124th, right? We ever get any info from him?
McIntyre ain't one known for squealing. He's a loyal son of a bitch. Dated my daughter a while back. Proposed to her too. A real nice guy for a criminal, I mean.
Wait, he dated your daughter?
Yeah, the kid's nice, calm and collected. Friendly too. We wouldn't think him to be any form of criminal. Suppose that's why he's so good at what he does.
What happened to your daughter, if you don't mind me asking, Detective?
Killed in a drive-by. Tried to protect McIntyre. He came to my door and begged me to take him to prison. Because he failed to protect her. He was a good kid. I know he did everything he could for her.
Damn. A good-hearted criminal. Who'da thunk it?
Good-hearted does not even begin to cover it. The only reason that he still works for Angus is to find out who ordered the hit. Another thing about McIntyre is, he's the only one who knows what Angus looks like underneath that mask. Apart from Joy, that is.
Even his wife?
Even his wife. Angus wore the damn thing to their wedding too. Our files say McIntyre and Angus were long-standing friends. Probably why he was trusted with so much information.
Why do we always get saddled with the big cases, McCann?
Because we're damn good at our job, Maygreaves.
Act 7. Breaking news.
Breaking news. As the plane has disappeared over Bermuda, seeming to have crash landed somewhere nearby. The plane reportedly contained 22-year-old Joy Agreement and her nephew Timothy Agreement, who was reported missing today by his father Angus Agreement. Agreement was also in an accident today as his flight to Steelport was hijacked and crash landed in the water. There were several casualties, but Agreement survived. More will come as it develops.
And now for today's news. Joy Agreement and Timothy Agreement, who were missing, presumed dead, have been found drifting in the middle of the ocean in a handmade raft. They were both taken into to an emergency room and made a full recovery, albeit with Timothy experiencing epilepsy-like symptoms. When questioned, all Joy could say was, "I'm sorry, Megan." We will bring more as it develops.
5 months ago marks the finding of Joy and Timothy Agreement, who went missing and were presumed dead. Since their discovery, Joy has worked tirelessly to find the island that she stranded on. We report to you now that the island has been discovered, much to the horror of the rescue teams sent out. The island was filled with cannibalistic tribals and large mutated creatures that sent many into a panic. The island has since been locked down and has become a zero-access area upon the discovery of a sacrificial machine that seems to be powered by the blood of young children. The most recent victim being a girl named Megan Foster. When questioned about the discovery of the girl, Joy said the following: "The little girl was stuck in the machine. I promised to get her out, but I was too late. I'm so sorry, Megan." Now, for more light-hearted news, a cow has just given birth to triplets in a small English farm, much to the joy of the nearby town.
Act 8. Death awaits future saints. The longest tale of Yes is that of Angus Agreement, or as I call him, Agreement. You get it?
Tom, you should genuinely be ashamed of that joke.
Me too, kid.
It's clever, and you know it.
Tom, there isn't any more information to be shared about him though. He's been in 3 of the stories now as the main guy. What would a 4th do for him?
Do you not want to hear about the end of Angus?
Wait, he has an end? He doesn't just die of natural causes?
Well, while in Steelport, he worked with the Saints to take down that crime syndicate that took all of his money. He did that, you know, history is history. But, unfortunately for Angus, this doesn't end with a happy ending.
You ready for your flight, boss? I'm sure Timmy is well excited to see you.
I'm more than ready, Jacob. It'll be nice sleeping in my own bed again. Shit, Jake! Mark, get your ass out here! Fuck. Who are you, and what do you want from me?
Oh, come on, boss. Don't you recognize an old buddy?
Mac, I'm blind, you stupid bop! Ow, my fucking knee!
Don't you mac me like we're friends, Angus. I know what you did.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Let's see if this jogs your memory.
What the fuck are you talking about, Mac?
Don't think I wouldn't find out.
I swear to God, Mac, you're a dead man when Joy finds out.
Joy's dead. She got a quick death. I was hesitant at first, but she begged me to do it. To atone for her sins.
Mac, I...
Call me Mac one more time. I will pour salt into the bullet holes instead of my finger. Understand? You called a hit, didn't you?
I would never...
Bullshit, Angus! You took her from me. You took them both from me.
I didn't know she was pregnant, Austin, I swear.
I'd say this hurts me more than you. But you already hurt me enough for me to be numb to it all. In fact, I'm enjoying this.
I didn't know.
Angus, You don't seem to understand your situation. Joey told me everything, so I'll ask you again. And if you lie to me, and trust me, I would really, really love you to lie to me. And me stomping on your broken hand is the least amount of pain you'll feel tonight. Why'd you call the hit, Angus?
You were dating a cop's daughter. If I didn't do something, I would have been called soft.
Our survey says... Looks like your answer isn't an abort. Remember, the question is, why'd you kill my fucking fiancée? And not most bullshit answer.
Fuck you.
You know, Angus, I always noted your nose was slightly crooked. Allow me to fix that problem for you.
I called the hit because I didn't want to lose you. Mac, I'm genuinely sorry.
You wouldn't have lost me, Angus. Just because I wanted to leave the game does not mean I would have cut you out of my life.
Mac, you don't have to do this. I have a family.
You took my family, Angus. You took everything that was dear to me and shat on it because it wasn't your ideal situation. And now you have the balls to beg me for mercy?
Mac, think about this.
Shut the fuck up. You didn't even give my family the chance for mercy. You sent your lackeys to kill what little joy I had left. You only ever cared about yourself, Angus. And it will be a cold day in hell when I even feel a passing thought of regret for this.
Heartbreaking news today as the bodies of several people have been found across the city. Joey Greenman was found dead in the apartment of Austin McIntyre today after he himself reported his own crime. Later reports detail he called in a shooting in Steelport, where the bodies of Jacob Wellings and Marcus Wilhelm were found by an abandoned plane. The severed arm of what DNA analysis has matched to Angus Greenman was found at the scene. Hours later, the police got a call from Angus' wife, distraught as she had discovered the body of her late husband, which had been mutilated beyond recognition. The suspect, Austin McIntyre, stated that he would plead guilty if he was still alive by the court date. He was later found hanging in a cell. We will never know what truly happened and why this cruel crime was committed, but we can only hope that it starts the end of the organised crime in the city. This has been Daniel Matthews on ABC News.
Jesus fucking Christ, Dom.
What?
That was dark. What the fuck happened? Why are these yeses evil all of a sudden?
Well, Thin Woman Don't, the daughter of Fat Man Do, was raised by an outlaw, and all of her descendants were essentially born into crime. They slowly lost all their morality, and then we get to the current yeses, which are pretty much pure evil, and willing to betray even their friends if it means maintaining the status quo.
Why did Joy betray Angus though? I don't understand that one.
It was guilt. After years of just mindless killings in the name of her brother, Joy finally grew a conscience. She was feeling guilty because she watched a child die, and that caused a chain reaction. The guilt of what she had done was too much for her to handle, and she broke. She told Mac she knew. She told Mac because she knew he would kill Angus, thus ending the siblings' reign of terror in the city.
Well, at least it's over now.
No, Connor. We still have one more to go. Act 9. Yes. Yes never changes.
Is this thing recording? God, Nora was better with holotapes than I was. The year is 2287 at the time of recording this. I am over 220 years old. My name is Dumbfuck, and I was the sole survivor of the Vault 111 incident, and I'm currently on a search for my son. If you find this holotape, then I found him, and he's safe with Hancock in Good Neighbor. Well, his clone is, anyway. Some guy called Kellogg killed my wife and took my son. I tried to reason with him. I didn't want any more bloodshed, but I had to kill him. It was nauseating. A feeling I've never gotten used to. The guilt of taking a life is unbearable. I don't know how these raiders do it. I traveled everywhere in the Commonwealth looking for him. From the stands of Diamond City all the way to the caverns of the glowing sea. My only true companion has been this German Shepherd, Dogmeat. Although I made additional friends along the way, even made robotic versions of my old drinking buddies, just minus any memory of being my friend, or personality for that matter. I remarried 5 years ago to a woman I love. This marriage, however, will never be consummated, as Nora will always be my partner. The military group called the Brotherhood of Steel helped me infiltrate the Institute to help me find my son. Only to me to find that my son had grown up and owned the Institute. He gave me a synth prototype, a synth that can grow old like a regular person, and that looks exactly like he used to before he was taken from me. He then asked me to leave and never return. I thought Maxon wanted me to infiltrate just out of the kindness of his heart, but he used me to implant the tracker into the building. Next thing I knew, the Institute was gone, and my real son was killed by Maxon. He didn't even wait for me to give the okay that I had left. He seemed surprised that I was even alive when I went to thank him for helping me find my son. Of course, I didn't tell him about Sean. I just got him back and I didn't want to lose him because of Maxon's ideals. Synth or not, he is my son. Maxon asked me if I would like to join the Brotherhood. We could use a field medic in our ranks. He said, I politely declined, and he said that there will always be a place for me in the Brotherhood. Yeah, fat chance. I won't let him use me again. I returned to Good Neighbor. I'd been living there for a while I looked for my son. And Hancock, the mayor, he greeted me. He even gave Sean a pre-war robot toy. Asked if I was gonna stay in Good Neighbor permanently. And you know what? I think I might. I'll have to warn Sean against using chems though. I don't want him to become an addict. He ain't a ghoul, so he has his life to think about before doing that. Even so, if he does end up with a chem addiction, I'll march his ass up to Vault 995. I don't have anything else to say, but whoever you are watching this, be you my great-great-grandchildren or even some random stranger coming across my corpse, be safe out there. And more importantly, never forget that as long as you have my blood in your veins, you are a good person, and always will be.
Well, that's it. The entire history of Yes in a short format for each one. If needed, I will do an in-depth history on each Yes, as I said before, and the various adventures in the games and where their deaths came from in my own headcanon. Obviously, the greatest storyline, as read in today's video and as heard, is greatly dramatised and has nothing to do with the actual games involved. Hence my insistence that the actual game canon has nothing to do with the Yes canon. If you want to hear more about each era of Yes and would like to see the video updated as more Yeses join the universe, then please let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy my content, please subscribe for more gaming and memeing. With that being said, I'll see you guys whenever I can be able to upload. Goodbye.
This was a lot of fun.
Also, a thank you to Connor, Din and Lauren for voicing the characters, and thank you to Riso for just being involved in general, being one of the people that helped. Just while playing, when I was playing games, Riso was usually there. When she wasn't ill or doing exams, Riso was there. None of this would have been possible without any of them, and I am ever so grateful. Various channel links will be in the description. well, much like my channel motto is, if I can be bothered. I think Connor's might definitely be there, because it's just part of my channel description, because I'm sponsored by Connor now.
Yes.
Connor's the channel sponsor. That's the funniest shit still. I love that Connor just doesn't want anything in return, but now it's just become channel sponsor.
I mean, I'm just happy to be a part of it, you know.
Happy to be a part of it.
I'm happy to be a part of the bigger picture, you know.
At the time of recording, I think Dylan's currently walking the dog, so I'm just going to do a Dylan voice. Goodbye! Lauren, would you like to say goodbye?
Goodbye.
I'm back.
Oh, Dylan, could you say goodbye now that you're back? I'm just doing the epilogue. You can say goodbye now. I'm filming the epilogue. Just say bye. Just say bye.
What epilogue?
Just say bye!
Goodbye.
Thank you. And goodbye from Connor.
Hasta la vista, baby.
And goodbye from Riso, who is going to be very, very quiet in a hallway somewhere. See you guys!